Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something you've probably noticed recently, a really fascinating shift in how we interact with technology. We're going to unpack exactly why modern AI chatbots have suddenly started, well, pausing before they answer you. Let's look at what's literally happening behind the scenes during that brief little delay. Think back to your last interaction with a new AI. You type out this really complex prompt, you hit enter, and instead of that instantaneous wall of text we're all used to, the interface just pauses, right? You get this thinking indicator. Now, your internet hasn't dropped, and it's definitely not a glitch. That pause is absolutely intentional. It actually marks a massive, game-changing leap forward in artificial intelligence.
So, the crucial point is, and IBM's Martin Keen really hit the nail on the head here, when a chatbot says thinking, it's not just buffering like a slow video. That brief delay, it's actually the ultimate sign of some super intense hidden activity. The system is working way harder, not struggling.
Section 1. Beneath the surface. Let's peel back that user interface layer and look at the complex engine operating underneath.
And this brilliantly illustrates the monumental shift we're seeing in AI architecture. See, standard AI models, the ones we've all been using for the past couple of years, they provide instant, rapid responses by essentially guessing the absolute best next word at lightning speed. It's rapid fire. But reasoning models introduce a totally new paradigm. They implement these deliberate pauses. Rather than just blurting out a highly probable string of words, they hold back and they calculate. So it's immediate generation versus careful, deliberate processing.
Section 2. Test time compute. Okay, let's dive into this and look at the specific mechanics of how it solves these harder problems.
So what is test time compute? Well, it refers to the extra processing time and computational power that's allocated specifically while the AI is actively generating a response. Simply put, it means giving the large language model more time and more resources to calculate at the exact moment it faces your prompt. Instead of doing all the heavy lifting up front during its initial training phase, the AI is now actively burning compute power during the testing phase, right when you are asking it a question.
Section 3. Chain of thought explained. Let's see how the AI actually utilizes that extra computation time.
So how exactly does the AI use that extra time? Well, it uses a method called chain of thought. This is where large language models use deliberate, sequential thinking to work through a problem, rather than just jumping straight to an answer. It's kind of like, instead of trying to spit out the final answer in one single breath, it breaks the problem down. It's essentially talking to itself behind the scenes, making sure its own logic holds up before it shows you even a single word. Let's move to and see how this builds step by step. When the model encounters a really hard problem, we're talking complex logic, math, or intricate coding, it triggers this internal process. First, it taps into that test time compute to engage deliberate thinking. Then, it formulates a logical chain. It literally writes out the intermediary steps internally, checking its own work and connecting the dots sequentially before finalizing what it's going to output to you.
Section 4. Boosting AI accuracy. Let's connect all these hidden mechanics back to the ultimate practical benefit. Because of test time compute and chain of thought, the AI can solve harder problems that absolutely would have caused older models to hallucinate or just completely fail. By using deliberate thinking to achieve this, it completely moves away from that rapid-fire guessing game. And this is the real game changer. It entirely transforms standard large language models into advanced reasoning models. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that all this extra computational cost, all the waiting around, and all that complex sequential logic going on behind the scenes, it all exists for one single goal: boosted accuracy. By taking the time to actually think rather than just instantly speak, reasoning models dramatically increase the reliability of their outputs. I mean, it is the primary reason this massive technological shift is sweeping across the industry right now. Think about it. If just a few seconds of deliberate thinking can turn a basic chatbot into a complex reasoning engine, imagine what minutes, hours, or even days of test time compute could achieve. As AI models spend more time thinking, what harder problems will they solve next? That's pretty wild to consider. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.